Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2, and the points are shared at the Vitality Stadium in what was an eventful game, especially the second half. I think the first half was a little bit boring. Not really much happened in the first half, but yeah, let's speak a little bit about the starting lineup. So obviously you had Jimenez starting net, had a back four of Diallo, Euro, Maguire and Shaw, Mainu and Casemiro as the central defensive midfielders, a front three of Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, and then finally Mbeumo up front. So the only change from my lineup that I went for was that Ahmad started ahead of Sesko, but that was about it really. I would have started Sesko ahead of Ahmad simply for that focal point, and I think we kind of lack that kind of number 9 kind of focal point, especially in the second half. But yeah, in terms of the first half, it wasn't even start. I'll be honest. I think United probably edged it just a little bit. Ahmad has a shot that is saved in the 3rd minute. United do well in build-up play. Diallo cuts inside and then out, and before a ferocious effort is saved well by Petrovic, Bournemouth then counter on the other end, but Ryan cannot find Evan Nilsson at the back post, and with his effort going just wide off the post. So that was an effort there whereby Diallo does really well to cut inside, does really well to beat his man, get a shot off, and then Petrovic has to save. Then Bournemouth go up the other end, they counter-attack, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't have done anything about that chance. And then in the 11th minute, Cunha has a shot which is saved as well. Cunha does brilliantly to make his way into the box, shifting the ball onto his weaker foot. He decides to go for goal, releasing a powerful effort on target, forcing Petrovic to push out for a corner. And then in 20th minute, Ryan has a shot which is saved by Jimenez as well. So Ryan picks up possession just inside the United third. United, under seemingly not much pressure around him, he puts the ball onto his left and fires a powerful low effort at goal. Jimenez does well to get down and push it out for a corner. And then in the 35th minute, Bruno has a shot which is saved by Petrovic as well again. So good play from Diallo, who ignores the packed near post, instead dinking to Fernandes at the back post. The United captain is free. So the United captain is free inside the 6-yard area and goes for a first-time volley. Petrovic wouldn't have known too much about it, but he managed to save his shot on the goal line. So a little bit unfortunate that United probably went into halftime 0-0. I think United probably just edged it in terms of chances as well. In terms of the first half stats, if you have a look at them, United had 50% possession. Obviously, Bournemouth had 50% as well. But with that, Man United had 11 shots, 4 on target, 0.72 XG. And Bournemouth had 5 shots, 3 on target, 0.45 XG. So, a little bit unfortunate that we did go into halftime 0-0, but the second half was when all the action pretty much happened. Basically, in the 59th minute, Man United get a penalty. Cunha has to come on. Cunha probably came out on top with his battle with Jimenez. The fullback originally makes a blunder to head back towards goal, where Cunha takes the ball. He cuts into the area and Jimenez drags him down. Bruno Fernandes then steps up to take the penalty, where he calmly slots the ball into the bottom left corner, sending Petrovic to the wrong way to make it 1-0 United. This is in the 61st minute. A couple minutes later, in the 67th minute, Bournemouth make it 1-1 through Ryan Christie. So Bournemouth counter after winning the ball back in their own half. Getting from back to front within 20 seconds. Christie is the one who finds himself on the edge of the area, and he manages to dig an effort from under his feet, finding the bottom right corner. There was a VAR check for a penalty at the other end. I think Ahmad could have possibly got a penalty for kind of being barged off the ball, but after a check by VAR, the goal is given. I think that it probably was the kind of correct decision. I think possibly on another day, Ahmad gets the penalty there in that instance, and then and then Bournemouth don't counter, obviously, because United have a penalty. But I think it's a little bit 50-50 with that, a little bit, kind of a little bit soft, but I could see why it wasn't given. I could also see why it would be given as well. So, but in my opinion, I think we should need to be defending better. Defending that counter attack from Bournemouth better. Bournemouth countered at speed to make it 1-1, and we just couldn't deal with that defensively. We need to be doing better, conceding them goals. But yeah, I think we defended poorly for that Ryan Christie equaliser in the 67th minute. Need to be doing better there. Then in the 71st minute, United make a substitution, and Mbeumo goes off, and then Sesko comes on. And then in the 71st minute, I think a couple minutes after, in the 71st minute, so just like a minute or two after the substitutions. Maguire thinks he's made it 2-1, but it's actually an own goal. Fernandes' deep corner is flicked on by Senesi, who fails to get the clearance he desires. It looks to be Maguire who heads home at the back post as he wheels away in celebration, but it is in fact Hill that gets the decisive touch to make it 2-1 United. Then in the 76th minute, Scott launches one off the crossbar. So Scott picks up the ball towards the centre of the goal, just outside the area, and releases a curling effort towards the top right corner. His effort smashes off the bar and then off the back of Lemens for a corner kick. Then in the 78th minute, Maguire picks up a red card, unfortunately. He gets on the wrong side of Evan Nilsson and is sent off. Probably the right decision, I have to say. Can't really complain about that. He sees red for dragging down Evan Nilsson in the box after the Brazilian's touch beats the English centre-back. As he doesn't go for the ball and Evan Nilsson is through, Maguire receives a red. And it's a huge chance for Bournemouth to equalise to make it 2-2. And in terms of the decision, the Maguire red card, it probably is a red card, I'll be honest. I've not really got anything to be complaining about. It probably is a red card, and then Krupi steps up to take the penalty, and he equalizes from the spot to make it 2-2. He buries the spot kick into the bottom left corner with Lemens diving the wrong way, and it's 2-2 unfortunately. And then United make a couple of substitutions in the 82nd minute to kind of shore up at the defence because Maguire's been sent off. Cunha and Casemiro do go off, and then Heaven and Ugarte come on. And then finally we make a final substitution in the 90 plus 6th minute of time. Ahmad goes off and then Mount comes on. And then in the 98th minute, 90 plus 8 minutes gone, it's a crucial block from Scott. Fernandes cuts onto his right foot and can see the right hand side of the goal open up. He looks to bend one in that direction, but Scott gets in the way of the shot, blocking the effort with his hand. And we could have won it in that instance with 10 men, and that would have been really nice because we've lost against 10 men twice this season. We lost against Everton at home, and then we lost to Newcastle as well away from home with 10 men. So a little bit unfortunate that didn't go in, but it probably is on, in terms of balance of play, in terms of the overall game, it probably was a fair result. Defensively, I think we were a little bit poor for the goals that we conceded. Obviously, Maguire getting on the wrong side of Evan Nilsson, then getting sent off. And then for the first one, we were far too open, basically, and we just let Bournemouth run right through us. It was a quick, fast transition by Bournemouth, and then Bournemouth just put the ball in the back of the net. I think it was Ryan Christie who basically equalised, and we didn't defend well for either of the goals. But yeah, in terms of the player ratings, we'll get into them right now. And then we'll take a look at the league table. But yeah, so Lemens has got a 6.9 here. Couldn't really have done anything about the goals. Can't really complain. One of them was in the corner, and then the other one was a penalty as well. So they were pretty much in the corners. He couldn't really have done anything about the goals. 22 out of 39 accurate passes, 14 out of 31 accurate long balls, and then Diego Diallo. Decent game, I'd say. 24 out of 29 accurate passes, 83%. Only 2 out of 6 duels won, so possibly could be doing better there. Lenny Euro, 13 out of 18 accurate passes with 5 out of 8 duels won. And then Maguire, unfortunately, he did get sent off. Probably deservedly as well. 19 out of 26 accurate passes, and then 3 out of 6 duels won. And then Luke Shaw, I think Luke Shaw had a decent game, getting up and down that left side. Provided a good attacking outlet as well. 26 out of 33 accurate passes with 6 out of 8 duels won, so decent performance there. Casemiro as well, I thought he was okay. 30 out of 38 accurate passes, 79%, 7 defensive contributions here. In terms of his duels, he's won 4 out of 10, so possibly could be doing better there. He's not won a single aerial duel, unfortunately, and he won 50% of his ground duels. And then Kobe Mainu, decent performance again. I think so 3 out of 9 duels won. I think he yeah, he was all right. He was a decent performance again by Kobe Mainu. He has been performing well lately, so hopefully that continues. And then Ahmad, 32 out of 34, accurate passes, 94%. Had this shot in the 5th minute that was saved, which was a really good effort. Possibly if it goes into the corner, Petrovic isn't making the save. 3 out of 6 ground duels won. That's all right. Bruno Fernandes comes away with man of the match. Only one goal scored, but unfortunately didn't get the assist for the corner. So I'm not sure if he is going to be able to break that assist record that that is still there with the 20 assists. I think he's on 16 assists right now in the Premier League. So maybe he might be breaking it this season or not. I don't know. 3 chances created, 3 shots on target, and 3 blocked shots as well. So decent performance by Bruno Fernandes. 5 out of 9. 5 out of 9 duels won, so done all right there. Cunha, I thought he was a little bit okay as well. Possibly could be doing a little bit better in the final third. I'm looking for that quality in the final third from the likes of Ahmad, Cunha and Mbeumo, which I didn't really see in my opinion. 29 out of 36 accurate passes, 81%, and then 7 out of 10 duels won, which is decent. And then finally Mbeumo, I don't think Mbeumo had a particularly decent game in my opinion. Lasted 71 minutes and then was hooked for Benjamin Sesko. 13 out of 22 accurate passes, and then 4 out of 8 duels won, so 50% of his duels. And then finally, let's get into the substitutes. Benjamin Sesko didn't really have too much of an impact. Don't remember him getting any shots off on target or any shots at all, unfortunately. He won 3 out of 4 of his duels. He won 100% of his aerial duels, which is decent. Aiden Heaven came on to shore up the defence. It wasn't really involved too much. We need to be obviously solidifying the defence and making sure we don't concede, and we come away with a point. And then Ugarte as well, same thing, was only involved in 1 duel and lost it. And then finally Mason Mount, who came on for basically 2 minutes or whatever, and lost his aerial duel. And yeah, that was about it really. In terms of overall performance, I think that we lacked control. I think in the second half, I think the goals that we conceded were poor goals to concede. The equaliser in the 67th minute by Christie. Defensively, we were poor, as in getting back into our defensive shape and stopping that Bournemouth counter-attack. So that was a little bit poor, in my opinion, the goal that we conceded. So it's saying right foot regular play, but it was basically a fast break, or a counter-attack that we conceded with that goal. So it was a little bit unfortunate. And then Krupi comes on off the bench to equalise with the penalty, and I think Maguire probably deserved to get sent off. I don't really have any issues with that. Maguire gets the wrong side of him, and Maguire has to kind of bring him down. Otherwise, Krupi gets it. I think it's, who does he bring down? Evan Nilsson? I think he brings down Evan Nilsson, and then he basically can get a shot off, and he probably did deserve to get sent off. So a little bit unfortunate about that. But yeah, we need to be doing better defensively, especially because we took the lead 2-1, and through that Hill on goal, good corner whipped in by Bruno Fernandes, comes off Hill. But yeah, we need to be doing more to basically see the game out and pick up the 3 points. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. In terms of the table, where does that leave us in the league table? We've got quite a lot of draws this season, unfortunately. 10 draws, which is quite a lot. So that's not good enough in terms of if you want to be kind of obviously challenging for the league. We are still in third. We are 55 points. We are 4 points away from Aston Villa, who are on a little bit of a losing streak right now, so hopefully they don't catch us. But yeah, still, in my opinion, I think we are in a decent position to be getting top 4, and hopefully we do finish inside the Champions League spaces, because that would really help us for next season in terms of overall transfers and getting the right and relevant players in. Of course, you've got Casemiro leaving at the end of the season, so we need a good replacement for him. And then Manuel Ugarte as well, who isn't good enough in my opinion to be playing for Man United. Possibly could be getting another replacement for Manuel Ugarte as well. So we need to be kind of finishing inside the Champions League spaces so that we can recruit the highest caliber of players available that are good enough to be playing for Manchester United. So really, it really is important that we do finish inside the top four, and hopefully we can. We are still in a good position. We're still in a good position to be finishing inside the top four despite this poor result against Bournemouth. But yeah, in terms of our next game, we are up against Leeds at home on the 13th of April, which is a couple of weeks away now because of FA Cup weekend and international break as well, or whatever. So yeah, hopefully we can bounce back from this poor result against Bournemouth and come away with all 3 points in our game against Leeds next time around. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.